Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. This week, I was going through postcards in my World War II special collection, and I say special because I've done it for a number of years, and they are special. They're like friends to me. And this friend I found some time ago. I can't remember exactly where, it doesn't matter. But this is a special postcard that was issued for a one-day event, and it was to happen Tuesday, March 7th in 1944. Take a look at the front of this card. It shows a caricature of Bob Hope and probably a Jerry Colona there to, I guess, Bob's right, and then a beautiful girl that I really haven't been able to identify her, but she would have been in the troop that night that was there for this special Bob Hope program. And I'll read it: for the men of the Army Air Forces Training Center #1 in Miami Beach, Florida. All of this was to take place at the Flamingo Park Bandshell that night, and notice that it didn't even start until 10:30 p.m. That makes me think that Bob Hope and his group may have had another one or two shows that day in the area. Florida and the East Coast was filled with training centers where men were working and learning, and you see this parachute here behind Bob Hope. It makes me think, and I can almost guarantee, that there was a parachute jump school connected with the Army Air Force Training Center in Miami Beach. But just think, with these dates, the war had started in December 8th, 1941, the day after Pearl Harbor is when we joined the effort against Japan. And then this postcard and this event was on March 7th, 1944, just a couple of months before D-Day on June 6, 1944, where the men left Great Britain and stormed into the beaches there on D-Day in France. But it's a great card. Up in the upper left corner, this man he signed it, and I'll call him Charlie. He says, "Thanks for the first day cover, Charlie." And we turn the postcard over, and we see that it's from a Corporal Charlie, and then I can't really read his last name, but sent from Miami Beach, Florida. And he was a soldier that did not have to use a stamp. He just had to say free in the upper right corner. That's all perfect too. It was postally used on a day, it says March 20 something, maybe 24, 1944. So the event had happened a couple of weeks before. He mailed this to the Mrs. Holton in Los Angeles. We turn back around and we see that the front of it, it's just a great image, a funny image showing a good caricature of Bob Hope with his ski nose, and always a big smile and lots of laughs for the troops. They loved him for sure. But this is a special one that says admit one GI only. So you had to take this card with you, and thank goodness they weren't collected. You just showed it and walked in, probably. But this wasn't for girlfriends and wives and so forth. This was for the men, the troops only. Of course, the GI might have been a whack or a wave, but chances are most of these were male enlisted men and people being trained for war over there in France very soon, just a couple of months later. But thank you for looking at this postcard, and enjoying and kind of not only interpreting, but, thinking about it, the time when it was mailed, and the fact that he made a note here that said, "Thanks for the first day cover." This was something that he had received from this lady. And then a couple of weeks later, he found this card in his things and he addressed it to her and easily mailed to this lady in California. It's just a neat turnaround. First day covers, for those of you who don't know, that's every time a stamp or a piece of postal stationery is created and offered for sale at a post office, it has its first day issuance someplace in this country, some town or city. Years ago, I think it was in the 50s, Wichita was the first day location for a airmail postcard. I think the postcard was 6 or 5 or 6, maybe I think about 5 cents at that time. But I was a member of the Wichita Postcard Club in that time and served for several hours at the main post office where people would come in and get their brand new little postal cards canceled with that fancy cancel that they had there that day. But that's what Charlie was thanking the lady for. And it just shows that, collectors were being trained for war too, just like everyone else. But this is a Bob Hope special program postcard, and hope you liked it. Thanks for coming today, and we'll see you next week with another, hopefully, interesting postcard. Bye-bye.